are here again with another edition of Swanzey Then and Now. I'm your co-host Lee Dunham, and Jody Turner is here. So we're going to go, well, get comfortable out there because we're going to go
We're going to a parade.
We are going home.
Yes.
It's Old Home Day.
Old Home Day.
But I just wanted to read you just a little bit about this because, did you know Old Home Day, but actually it was Old Home Week, originated in New Hampshire. Yes, our Governor Frank Rawlins in 1899.
Good idea.
Came up with the idea of Old Home Week, and so he put it into being. So, but he had the idea that people were, and they were in 1899.
It was pretty rural.
Well, a lot of people were leaving. If you look at census figures for New England, New Hampshire in particular, you'll see in the 1870s, 1880s, everybody's leaving to go to the cities, getting away from the farms. And so he was trying to bring people, come back home, and you'll see how much you miss. And so that's what he was. That's what it was about. Now I tried to find, actually expand it out into the rest of New England in 1907. So I was trying to find more about Swanzey. When did it pick up on it right off? And unfortunately, I don't have an awful lot of the old town reports in those years, but right off I didn't see anything. Anyway, you got to understand the old annual reports were very bland in the beginning.
They were.
There's not
lots
much
of words.
Just money issues and how much we took in, how much we spent, and who's had cows and chickens, and it's
how the teachers did.
It was a lot on the schools.
Yeah.
So what I found is that it changes, and of course it changes. If Old Home Week is what it starts out as, but it changes in 1918 to Old Home Day. So now we just condense it to a day.
Right. And we have it now in Swanzey Center, but where did it start?
Well, I've heard a lot about the picnics and stuff, and the picnic grounds, and that's out on Swanzey Lake.
At Richardson Park?
At Richardson Park, I believe, yes. And actually, I think we have a picture of the Centennial picnic.
Yeah.
And when's the Centennial? 1876. So, that's when they would have done that one.
Right.
So that's where it happened for the most part that I know of. And I remember it happening at Richardson Park. And then my recollection is, I know we had the parade in 1983 on the 250th. And there was a lot of festivities around on that. But shortly after that, then it all moved. Now I know one person that was involved in doing that, and that was Ed Dunham. He was Uncle Josh at the time, and I believe he was the president of the Old Homestead Association. And do you remember they used to have a street fair in Keene?
Yes, I love it.
And that used to be around the same time, too.
Yeah.
And we'd send characters from the Old Homestead up there to roam the street fair.
Really?
We do that.
Yeah.
But his idea was bring Old Home Day into the center of town and do it on that same weekend of the Old Homestead.
Right.
And it would bring
have
more
it all
people in
together.
town.
Yes. Yeah.
So.
Well, it's funny because we have Old Home Day now in Swanzey Center.
Yep.
And when you drive by that, when it's not Old Home Day, it looks pretty tiny. I don't know how we fit everything in there because we have all of these vendors, and then you have the reenactment people, you have the parade, you have cars, lots of activities for kids, food vendors. The fire department has food that's available. Usually you have some line dancers. What else am I missing?
Oh, bands.
Political people.
Yeah, the political people show up every year, and they will be here this year.
They will.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. But to me, it's all about community.
Yeah.
And so that's what I like to see. I usually have a booth there. I'm a beekeeper. And so I bring my bees so that people can see them because I feel like it grounds people so that they can kind of get an idea of what it used to be like. And I feel like that's what Old Home Day is really about, is families getting together, bringing back people from the cities or coming for the weekend. And they used to be able to go to the Old Homestead and see the play. or in the next morning is the church service.
Church service,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, so there's something like all weekend that people can participate in.
Yeah.
Oh, and I forgot.
What?
The cemetery tours.
The cemetery
What
tour.
a great lead in to
There.
the photographs that we have to show.
Well, I put a one or two in there.
You
that
did?
would clue it off.
So when do the cemetery tours start?
I don't know why I don't know why I chose this, but I know part of the reason why is it's at noontime. Meet over by the Grange Hall. We choose a place in the shade usually to meet because
It's hot.
not a lot of shade.
Yeah.
Once you're in the
Oh,
cemetery.
and we will be having a pie contest, so maybe there's some little refreshments. And the Grange does tours then too, so you can come over and make it a whole afternoon. Anyway, so cemetery tours.
So then we take a trip and bring to life, a few people from Swanzey
Yeah.
that are up in the old cemetery.
Right.
So,
Yeah. And there are some old headstones up there.
yeah, I haven't dug into really finding the oldest one yet. Someday I'll try to do that.
Right.
But
Yeah. But there's a lot of family names that you'll notice as you're going along.
Yeah.
And
well, I try to also, part of the tour for me was to bring alive the Old Homestead. I mean, a lot of people don't know that the main characters came from real people that lived and died and are buried right there. So,
yeah, very interesting. Okay, so let's look at some photographs. We have just a few of the older photographs.
yeah, there's the start of the
So
cemetery
is that
tour.
Mount Caesar?
That's Mount Caesar. And the barn on the left is the old barn that went to the central house behind the Grange.
Which the central house is where the Grange was?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this looks like an old home day with picnics and
this is the centennial picnic down in the Grove of Pines.
yeah,
So this would be
beautiful. Everybody dressed up.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be
Right.
cool to have a dress-up party, like an Old Homestead dress-up
yeah.
party?
And this is our first meeting house.
Yep,
I
which is
threw
right
that
up the
in
hill.
there because it is right up on the hill. That used to be called, and there used to be a sign down at the bottom that said Meeting House Hill. So
And what is this, Lee?
that's our old hearse.
Swanzey had a hearse.
Yeah, I think most every town did. Back before the days of what you see today, the town had the cemetery, the town had a hearse. When you died, there wasn't embalming.
Right.
You'd be laid out in your front room on your harvest table or whatever for whatever, and then they'd come and pick you up and take you to the cemetery.
Yeah,
So
that's what they did. Okay, but on a brighter note, that'll be another show, as all these cemeteries.
unfortunately, we do not have that hearse anymore. It would
No,
have been
that would have been really
We
nice.
sold it, I think, in the 50s.
Yeah. Well, who would have thought? That's the thing that people have to think about is what you're doing today could be valuable tomorrow or 50 years or 100 years from now, as long as our kids don't sell everything. Anyway, okay, so here we go. The Legion. I don't know, I just feel, I almost get tears in my eyes every time I listen to these guys play, or to think of everything that these guys have been through through the years. We're so lucky to have bands like this and to have people like this. And we're going to shoot just right, keep going
We're gonna
right
keep
through.
going
Yeah,
through these.
yeah. So if you see anything that you may see people here that you know. Of course, there's people that we know here, but point them out, and we'll go from there. Grand Marshal, I think this is going to be Bill Carson. Is it? I think this is a long time ago. Let's just see who I don't know if he was a Grand Marshal or the oldest citizen, but let's see. I can't tell who this is.
I can't.
Now
either.
that would be
That might
one of
be
the Bell
old-
brothers driving his car. That's his
driving
car, I
this
believe.
car.
And Tom Sharon?
Yes. Yeah.
Is that who? He announces every
Sharon,
year.
Yeah. Well, he's
I think
on-
it's something Sharon.
Yeah, it
I
is.
should know. I should know.
It is.
Okay. And then the kids all get different things. So I'm not sure who this is, but it looks like little dancers. And then, that's Bill, I think, right there. I'm pretty sure.
That is. a
Can't
few
say for
years
sure,
ago.
but I'm pretty sure. Okay, and you have the horses.
The horse
So they give
riding.
hay rides at the Old Home Day as
They
well.
give rides. When they first started doing this, they went all the way down to the covered bridge.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah,
that's
it
a
was
long
just
ways.
Too long.
Yeah.
So they just do it around the
Yeah,
center
yeah.
now.
And the reenactors?
Yep, your New Hampshire Volunteers.
Yes.
I believe it's the 4th New Hampshire.
Yeah. And we got Boy Scouts.
Boy Scouts.
And lots of Boy Scouts. And, oh, who is that? Which band is that? That's not Nelson, is it?
That looks like Winchester.
Winchester, right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Winchester Community Band.
Yeah.
You got the Cast and Brass
Yep.
Tractor
Driving
Club.
their tractors.
Yeah.
Yeah. So many different kinds of tractors, too. So we can shoot right through these. Oh, and this tractor is carrying the Old Homestead Players, I believe. But I could be wrong. It could be somebody else. Another beautiful tractor. More tractors. And more tractors. Ah, and Victoria.
Back on the, yeah.
With Honey Hill something. All
Yeah,
those
she
animals
changed,
up on
yeah.
Route 32.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And they're probably doing some pickup.
Yeah.
Oh, here we
There's
go.
the Old
There's the Old
Homestead.
Homestead. And I think we have 2 different years. So
Yeah.
I think we have 2013 and 2018.
I think only 1 year have I been on the float.
Uh-huh. Aren't you
Because
usually in the fire truck?
I'm driving the fire truck
Right,
generally.
right.
But
Yeah.
the 1 year, there was 1 year I was in the hay wagon being pulled by the oxen.
Oh, nice. Nice.
That was a while back.
Yeah, yeah. So we usually have a pretty good crowd, and then we have lots of fire trucks. Everything comes out, you know.
Yep, and a few of the neighboring towns.
Yep, yep, yep. So it's always, I feel, a really fun parade to see everybody, and they sometimes dress up their bikes and different things like that. If you want more information, you can go to the town website or contact them and find out more information.
Old Homestead.
Oh, look at those smiles in the back there. I know those people. Yeah, that is like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Out and line dancers. They're always entertaining. And it looks like Girl Scouts, possibly. Yep. Now, you can notice that this is coming in a different direction. So this is a different year. Because they changed the direction of the parade.
Well, I was just looking at that saying, boy, they're coming from the wrong direction. It changed at one point, and then it changed back. So.
And there they are another year. Oh, Molly Kelly.
Molly Kelly.
Yep.
Now that,
Gamarlos?
no, that truck, I think it's a Wyman's.
Oh, is it? Oh, it could be. It could be the
I
Wymans.
think
Yeah.
Bob Wyman has a truck like that. It was Witt's, his father's.
Backside of the Legionnaires. Yeah, there he is, driving, I believe. Yeah. And the kids dressing up their bikes. It's just such a great day for families to get together.
Yeah, pie eating would be nice.
Well, I don't know if it's going to be pie judging, so we might do like a people's choice, and people can decide what pies they like the best. And there'll be awards.
That's Mark Palafroni.
Yeah. I always love listening to him play. And he's a director. I think he was the director of the play or musician.
The chorus.
Yeah. Oh, the chorus. Yes. Yeah. All right. So here's another one for Winchester. Dressed that baby up just a little bit more that year.
Yes.
And a little bit more entertainment. She's got really long legs.
Yeah, I couldn't do that.
Here's another one of the Old Homestead.
We got pulled by a truck this year.
Yeah. 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 Again, opposite direction. And the
Actually,
Legion.
they get quite a few there.
There's the Nelson Town
Nelson
Band.
Town Band.
And the Nelson Town Band, and you used to have different bands that would play every night for the Old Homestead too, didn't you?
Nelson and Winchester would all play.
Yeah. Oh, we have the Red Cross, some of the volunteers for the Red Cross. Oh, and
then
open spaces
Open space with the.
with the oxen.
Yep.
Yep.
You didn't go far enough back to get Buck and
Right.
Hike though.
No, I know.
This is Star and Bright, I think it was at one point. That would be me in that big truck.
That would have been. That's right. And I don't know if this is the Grange or who this might be. It might be the Old Homestead. But you've got Joan and a couple of other people there. I can't really tell who they are, but you would know who they are. They're
Yeah, I think
Julie.
Jenny Thompson is there.
Yeah. Yeah. And this little boy may have won the bike, or he might have been in the parade. And they always have a sand pile for the kids to just have fun in. I think they usually have a rock climbing wall too sometimes.
Yeah, the last year. Then there was a car show.
The car show. And they give out some really nice prizes.
The car show is pretty neat.
I think it's getting bigger and bigger every year. It's really wonderful. I think Joanne Stroshine is one of the organizers, or the major organizer for the event. And I think she's always shooting to have more. I think this year she was shooting for 100 or more cars.
There's Don Fuller's 1950 Studebaker.
Is that what that is?
Don passed away last year.
Oh.
So his sons still have the car. But the interesting thing about that car, he bought it brand new, sold it, bought it back.
Wow, that's
and
lucky.
Restored it.
That is very lucky.
So.
Yeah. So yeah, you get a good variety of different kinds of cars at this event. And it's all free.
Yeah.
So, beautiful cars.
I love going to car shows.
Yeah.
My son will go to.
I know that my husband loves to go because like he's just a little bit older than I am, so that he remembers some of the older vehicles more than I do. And I never cared about vehicles anyway.
Well, when you go to the high school, we had
it was cool.
Chevelles. We had
I remember the
Mustangs.
Chevelles. Yeah.
We had Camaros in the lot.
Right.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
That's when we went to school.
Right. That was when it was cool. Okay, so we have more of the reenactment people. And I think we're getting towards the end, actually, of some of the photographs because we're getting to the reenactment people. Yeah. So we've only got like 5 more.
How did we do that?
I know. We did the most photographs ever. So let's just focus on these a little bit. Maybe we can go back a little bit on some of the photographs because my grandkids went up there last year and they taught them how to hold the guns. They had wooden guns. They weren't real guns, but they showed them how to hold the guns, how to march, and then they showed them how to put all of the guns together. Yep, so they could make a little tent kind of thing. So yeah, let's look at the photographs a little bit again. So they do the reenactment. They put out the tents. They don't sleep overnight, do they?
No, they don't sleep overnight, but they actually dig a hole for cooking fire and everything.
And sometimes they've done like wood carving, and the women have been doing other things like baking and stuff like that too. And they're all very friendly, and they'll answer your questions.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Look
at these people; they're very serious at what they do.
They try to get really into it.
Yeah.
And I had the luck, if you will, to go to Gettysburg during the reenactment down there.
Yeah.
Once, and wow, you see hundreds of these guys, and they're camped out all over the place.
Right.
So
well, can you imagine what it was like when they really did this? People that were on the farms, going into battle. Like they thought they had to do it.
Yeah.
But can you imagine how hard it was for the people that were left behind, the women and the children that were trying to keep the farms going?
Yeah. It was a lot more work than what we do today.
Totally. Totally.
You didn't have electricity, the little things that you think about that,
Did you go to the grocery store and get everything?
No, if you
maybe we're going to have ice cream tonight?
If you wanted chicken, you killed chicken.
Right.
And you had it.
Right.
You could only store stuff for so long.
Right.
So you didn't have
ice boxes.
Ice box.
If they even had that at that time. A lot of then it was a lot of vinegars and salts and brining and you had your milk right there because you had your cow because you didn't have anything to keep your milk cold.
See, that's what the homestead. When we talk the old homestead, that's pretty much what farms around here were.
Right.
When we first moved up here, there wasn't the Home Depot. There wasn't the grocery store.
Right.
You brought everything that you had.
Yeah.
And then you planted, and
And you picked
it
blueberries.
was tough for the first year or two,
Right,
and then you
to
finally
establish it, yeah.
got things going. And the farms, I mean, I love to go to Sturbridge Village. It shows you what a New England farm was. You go up on the hills, and unfortunately, a lot of our hill farms are gone. Not just in Swanzey, but every place.
Right.
And that all happened. We talked, I think, before about the migration of people south for Old Home Day and whatever. That's what it came about from. Well, we lost those. And you go up on the hills on old Class 6 roads, and you find cellar holes.
Right.
What are you going to find around a cellar hole?
Dumps.
Well, you find dumps, but you also find orchards.
Oh, right.
Because they had apple trees, so they could have apple cider. You find lilacs a lot of times because they had lilacs,
Right.
But you find all these things around that were there on a normal homestead farm.
Yeah.
Why do they have apple trees? Well, because
They needed
wanted
fruit.
it.
Right.
You
And they
had-
could make applesauce, and they could make pies, and
Yep, and they dried apples.
right.
If you've ever been,
Yeah, you talked about that with the Old Homestead, yeah.
The Old Homestead had stringed dried apples up, and that's what they did.
Yeah.
I actually was at Sturbridge Village in the fall one time, and they did the same thing.
Yeah.
And the kids that we were with, because I'm always, chaperoning with kids and stuff, there's flies on the apples and stuff. And it's like, they were upset about that.
Yeah.
It's like, well, that's what it was.
Think about pickles.
Yeah.
Remember when, I don't know about you, but we had a neighbor across the street when I was growing up, and he would do the mustard kind of pickles, and there was a lot of flies around those pickles, but they still tasted good.
Yeah.
I think the vinegar probably killed anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the interesting thing is pickles aren't supposed to be refrigerated. They don't need to be. They're
Right.
pickled.
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. There's a lot of things that we grew up with, like you were, talking about with the Old Homestead. Like when I was growing up, we used to go and pick milkweed.
No, yeah.
I was like, seriously, milkweed? But you could pick the top leaves before they got too old, just like fiddleheads.
Yep.
You could pick the fiddleheads, and this is what people did too, is they knew when to harvest things that they could get when they were in season.
Yeah.
I think we talked about, smelt on another show. And,
Yeah.
Or, again, blueberries or strawberries or blackberries. Blackberries were a big thing because you could just go anywhere and pick those.
Yeah. I remember picking blackberries and stuff. Well, when I was in camp, this is 6 years old or 7 years old, 8 years old, whatever it was. We took a hike and we went up on a mountain. A lot of times what do you find on the mountaintops was wild blueberries.
That's right.
Well, what do you do when you're a kid? You start eating blueberries. What do we have for breakfast? Blueberry pancakes.
Blueberries,
We were
blueberries,
already-
blueberries.
We were already sick of them.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Well, while people are at the Old Home Day, they can climb Mount Caesar. There's also sometimes bicycle tours.
Yeah, I don't know if they did that last year,
Yeah.
but they
But
had a-
people can ride their bikes anyway. There's lots of covered bridges to go
Yeah.
and travel around. And I think if you go to not the Thompson, the Crescent Bridge, which one am I thinking of? The one on off Matthews Road.
yeah,
Crescent Bridge.
Yeah.
There's a sign there that will tell you all of the
Yeah, that's-
different covered bridges that you can go on.
There's the rail trail sign down there too.
Yeah, yeah. And I know this is not in the Old Homestead area or Old Home Day area, but there's always the museum. The museum has lots of information, and people should just stop down there because I know people probably drive by it, just like a lot of things that we have in Swanzey. You drive by them, the Grange, any of the halls, the churches, the libraries. We drive by them all the time. Take a stop and go inside because there's a lot to see. The Mount Caesar Library is open during Old Home Day too.
Yep.
And
they have
so,
a book sale usually.
Right, right.
And,
they have lots of antiquity there that they've collected over the years.
Yeah,
So
that's
there's a
part of
lot
the
going on.
Antiquarian Society that I don't know if that's still
I think it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it is. And I know that Mount Caesar is going to be doing some fundraising, and the Grange is doing fundraising. Whitcomb Hall is still doing fundraising. I think that it's really important to keep all of this going so that we can keep Swanzey, so that we can keep that history and continue it on with our kids and grandkids.
Yeah, the museum is getting ready to open, so
Yep, yep.
it's almost that time of year.
Right.
So-
And so, what is their schedule again? They're open. They still opening
They
in the
open
beginning
just
of June.
they open just after Memorial Day. So, in this year, I've got the idea that we're and not this weekend, but the next weekend. So,
So beginning of June
it'll be the
through
second-
October.
Through usually
Columbus Day?
goes through October, through Columbus Day.
Yeah. So, maybe there'll be a tour. You never know. I'd really like to see one in September. Just because it's a good way to get people together. And, if we could start it, this is just an idea, but if we could start it at the museum, there's plenty of parking there.
Yeah.
And then have tours of different buildings or different properties or Tip and Rock or whatever the rock is. Another show.
Another cemetery tour.
Another cemetery tour, yeah.
Actually, I do another. All cemeteries that we have. We have 5 cemeteries.
Yep.
They all have things to
that
share
are really
and
interesting.
stories.
Yeah. So I think what we need to do is really share our history, and we'll come back with more shows. But we are Swanzey Then and Now. Please contact us and let us know what you'd like to talk about. If you'd like to share anything, Lee and I are happy to do this. And you have a Facebook site, right?
Yeah, Swanzey Old Photographs is my site.
Yeah.
And then the museum, I've got a Facebook page for them.
Yeah.
We keep that, try to rotate
Swanzey
that around.
Preservation Society. I've also got a Facebook page. So if you're interested in sharing information, there's plenty of ways to do that. So we hope to run into you soon. Stop us and let us know what you'd like to talk about. So again, Swanzey Then and Now. Lee,
Hey,
show number 22.
22.
Woohoo!
Wow.
We'll see you soon.